Governor Tim Walz, Mr. Jazz Hands himself, is teetering on the edge of a full psychiatric collapse. This isn't just a meltdown, it's a sirens blaring, padded room is minutes away kind of spiral. What's pushing him over the edge? Fat ankles, red hats, and anyone who identifies as a Republican. Then over on MSNBC, Morning Joe just exploded into a fiery clash with Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson. The cracks in the Democrat Party are widening, and now they're tearing each other apart. Plus, President Trump dropped a bombshell. He fired Federal Reserve Governor Lisa Cook. But guess what? Oh, she's refusing to quit. Grab your popcorn. Trump is living rent-free again, and the meltdown is next level. The media is having a full-blown panic attack because President Trump called in the National Guard to make Washington, D.C. safer. I mean, you'd think he'd order tanks into Whole Foods. MSNBC, they're lighting votive candles for democracy. The New York Times, they're running democracy's obituary. AOC, yeah, she's probably live streaming from her couch whispering about authoritarianism between sips of organic oat milk. And CNN? Oh, CNN has entered a whole new realm of crazy. Apparently, restoring order is now dangerous and enforcing the law is now considered an act of war. Watch this.
I am telling you on the front lines what is happening. And there are militarized police force going in harassing longtime law-abiding citizens of Washington, D.C. And so when we, who are probably a little more familiar with American history, perhaps than you, look at the military turning the police force on its own people, we remember the examples like Tulsa, when law enforcement dropped bombs on its own community. We know what it is like to have people.
We're far from that, though.
We are not so far. We are not so far from that.
If you think Democrats have absolutely lost it, hit that like button for me because she says we're not so far from Tulsa. Lady, we are like closer to Gotham City, and Trump just sent in Batman. But of course, they can't have Trump looking like a hero, even when he is the one saving the city. And when the crime data isn't on their side, these activists turned analysts just switch gears and claim the police themselves are the actual problem. Listen to how they twist themselves into knots trying to argue against their own network's reporting.
CNN's own reporting says crime is down 19% from the weeks before.
I didn't say that it wasn't down.
So is it working? Is it helping?
No,
I didn't say that
it
it
is
wasn't
not
down.
working.
I'm just
The
saying
the police
the
say it
idea
helps.
that this has never
First of all, let me
happened
just tell you,
before
a lot
is
of people
not the
do not
case.
care what the police think or what the police unions think. They themselves are quite problematic.
Crime's down, but the police are still the problem? Of course. So I'm guessing the left's master plan here is swapping cops for therapists, because when someone tries to steal your car, what they really need is a group session and a safe space. I mean, funny how the left is obsessed with safe spaces for their feelings, but not for your personal safety. And if that sounds like an exaggeration, here's proof they actually believe that.
Don't take the bait, because most Americans are more worried about how are we going to address mental health issues, the visible homelessness that we see on streets, and how do we deal with mental health and other issues that drive the sort of random incidents that scare all of us. That's what you should be talking about. That's where you should be focused. Don't take the bait in talking about migrant crime or carjackings or the things that actually don't matter to that many Americans.
Carjackings don't matter? Tell that to the woman whose car gets stolen in broad daylight, or the kid who got caught in the crossfire. See, while Democrats dismiss it as a distraction, real people, especially in deep blue DC, they are cheering on the results they're now seeing. Take a look.
Well, I'm glad they're cracking down on crime. That's all I can say.
I feel a lot safer, so I'm actually really happy.
I feel like the nation's finally becoming safe again with this, so it's nice that he has our backs and he's protecting us.
I think extra security is always a good thing, especially in the metro.
I mean, if you got crime, you need police, you need extra protection out there. I don't have a problem with it.
When push comes to shove, even Democrat strongholds want law and order, not lectures and therapy circles. But while average Americans are asking for safety, Democrat leadership is busy throwing major temper tantrums. Case in point, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz. He apparently thinks that juvenile name-calling is the new gold standard for leadership on the left. Watch this meltdown.
The privilege of my lifetime was stand beside someone we know was the most qualified and would have been a fantastic president in a President Harris. And look, we wouldn't wake up every day to a bunch of on TV and a bunch of nonsense, not a man-child crying about whatever's wrong with him. May his fat ankles find something today. Petty as
This is a governor behaving like this. There's no substance, just schoolyard jabs. And it perfectly captures where the Democrat Party is right now. They're out of ideas, they're completely out of touch, and they're resorting to personal attacks because they've got nothing left to run on.
The party is almost becoming like a cult that worships these weird progressive idols and then sort of the only thing they have to offer is these insults like Tim Walz body shaming the president. You know, Tim Walz going around body shaming to me is like the Taliban criticizing someone for religious intolerance.
The party that preaches tolerance has become a walking contradiction. And just when you think the performance is over, cue the red hat panic, because nothing sets them off faster than a MAGA cap and a conservative who won't back down.
Think of how easy it would be to be a damn Republican. Oh, what should I wear today? This stupid freaking red hat. What should I say today? I don't know. Just make sure it's cruel. Who do we listen to? That guy. Oh, the felon in the White House? Yeah, listen to him and that will be fine. Now he's talking about burning flags. He's going to have flag burning or whatever. Because he knows there's a hell of a lot of flags with his picture on it that are going to get burned.
The failed vice presidential candidate, he's referring to the executive order the president just signed that will implement a 1-year jail sentence on anyone that is caught burning the flag. This was the scene shortly after that order came down outside the White House yesterday. Watch this.
I'm burning this flag as a protest to that illegal fascist president that sits in that house.
And here's what happens when you F around and find out in Trump's America, because law and order still matters. I mean, that guy isn't just facing arrest. He could be charged with 5th-degree arson because lighting a fire inside a federal park, yeah, that's a felony. But don't worry, the Democrats' calm and rational response didn't stop there. Check out this gem from a Senate candidate at a Bernie rally.
We don't back down. We don't back down. We don't back down. With all due respect, if they go low, we don't go high. We take them to the mud and choke them out.
Well, I'm guessing that's a mostly peaceful chokeout that he's talking about, because apparently in today's Democrat playbook, it's all about fighting dirty and never admitting the obvious. And you really know the wheels are coming off when MSNBC's Morning Joe is grilling a Democrat. Watch this brutal exchange as Chicago's failing mayor Brandon Johnson, he gets cornered on crime and flat out refuses to say what everybody already knows. More cops would make the city safer.
Would you also like to get federal funding to help put 5,000 more cops on the street in Chicago? Would that help drive down crime?
Well, look, policing by itself is not the full strategy.
No, I understand that. You've talked about the other things you want, and I said those are good and important programs, but I'm asking also, would 5,000 more police officers on the street in Chicago be helpful to go along with all of those social programs that a lot of cities are engaging in and having success with?
Well, look, here's the best way I can put it, Joe, is that in the 90s when I was in high school, we had 3,000 more police officers and we had 900 people being murdered every single year in Chicago. It's just not policing alone. Of course, we want more detectives.
I know it's not policing alone, but I know it's not policing alone. You've told me everything else you want. Do you believe that the streets of Chicago would be safer if there were more uniformed police officers on the streets of Chicago?
I believe the city of Chicago and cities across America would be safer if we actually had, affordable housing. Look,
okay,
I'm not saying that
that's not the question I asked. Would an additional 5,000 cops on the streets in Chicago help complement those programs to make Chicago safer?
Look, we are working hard to make sure that our police department is fully supported. I don't believe that just simply putting out an arbitrary number around police officers is the answer.
That is deflection on a loop. I mean, with just a 6% approval rating, you would think the mayor would finally find the courage to say, yeah, more cops would reduce crime. But he's too worried about his far left base. In fact, he's more afraid of activists than actual criminals. Let that sink in. Even Bill Maher has had enough and is now piling on, calling out Democrats for chasing delusions, while Trump, love him or hate him, is locking in voters who actually care about the real world.
While Democrats offer up high-minded intangibles like equity and saving the soul of America, Trump says, hey, waitress, how'd you like to pay no tax on those tips? He got the TikTok vote, He got the people for whom toilets are very important vote. He got the enough of taking our shoes off at the airport vote, the crypto bro vote, the tech bro vote, the bro vote. He got rappers and kale eaters.
Democrats' ongoing war with reality, it's not just obvious, it is finally catching up to them. The latest Wall Street Journal poll shows that a staggering 63% of voters now view the Democrat Party unfavorably. That's the worst rating in 35 years. But don't tell Minnesota Governor Tim Walz that, because he's too busy already having a public meltdown. I mean, honestly, he is one rant away from a padded room. Take a look.
It boggles my damn mind that in the midst of a military takeover of our cities and the attempt to go into others, the flaunting of the rule of law, the cruelness and the unconstitutional nature of the way they're attacking our neighbors, that the press finds the need to talk about, oh, there's a division in the Democratic Party. There's a division in my damn house and we're still married and things are good. That's life.
That wasn't a convention, that was a therapy session. And if that's what strong Democrat leadership looks like, it's no wonder 63% of Americans are done with it. And speaking of weak leadership, there's nothing more cowardly than Democrats who smile to President Trump's face and then run to cable news to tear him down the moment he leaves the room. Maryland Governor Wes Moore, he did just that. He's been making the rounds, bashing Trump as a so-called threat to democracy. But now a video has surfaced that tells a very different story when he's face-to-face with the man himself.
Mr. President, welcome back to Maryland, sir. Welcome back to Maryland. It's good to see you. It's in person, too. Thank you, sir. Great to see you. Great to see you. And great to have you back here. Great to have you. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you. Well, we are very, very anxious to be able to work closely with you, and I know the key bridge is something that we're specifically. It's going well. I mean, we spoke with Speaker Johnson yesterday.
Friendly handshake on camera, and then the knives come out behind closed doors. But President Trump, he's not letting that slide. He called out the hypocrisy in his cabinet meeting this morning. Watch.
I met this gentleman. I never met him before. Sir, you're doing a great job. You're doing an unbelievable job. Thank you very much. But then he goes on television and says, oh, Trump is a dictator. He's a dictator. And a lot of people are so the line is that I'm a dictator, but I stop crime. So a lot of people say, you know, if that's the case, I'd rather have a dictator. But I'm not a dictator. I just know how to stop crime.
And speaking of accountability, President Trump has fired Federal Reserve Governor Lisa Cook just like he promised. Now Cook, a Biden appointee, is facing serious accusations of mortgage fraud. And in his letter, President Trump says there's sufficient cause to fire her, pointing to a criminal referral over possible mortgage fraud. He also says there's good reason to believe she made false statements on one or more mortgage agreements. Now, I have covered that at length in previous episodes. Cook obviously denying any wrongdoing. She says she will fight this dismissal. She released a statement reading, quote, President Trump purported to fire me for cause when no cause exists under the law, and he has no authority to do so. I will not resign. I will continue to carry out my duties to help the American economy, as I have been doing since 2002. Well, Lisa Cook now says she will sue the president, so we will see how this one all plays out in court. Switching gears, I want to take a moment to recognize a solemn and important date in our nation's history. Today marks 4 years since that horrific attack at Abbey Gate, Kabul airport, during the chaotic Biden withdrawal from Afghanistan. That tragic day claimed the lives of 13 of our nation's brave service members, a loss that should never be forgotten. And Secretary of State Marco Rubio posting this morning, quote, after the previous administration failed to deliver justice for the Gold Star families who lost their loved ones in Kabul, the Trump administration took swift action to capture and extradite the ISIS-K terrorists responsible for that Abbey Gate bombing. President Trump will always stand with Gold Star families and our fallen heroes. And yesterday, the president did just that. He signed a proclamation alongside some of those Gold Star families to show their commitment to keeping their loved ones' memories alive.
We remember these great 13 souls. That was a terrible day, and I think it was the worst day, and in many ways the most embarrassing day in the history of our country. And yet, at the same time, we learned so much that it's, you know, we call it a big lesson. It won't happen again. A thing like that can never be allowed to happen.
This horrific event, it sparked investigations and countless oversights here, and yet still no one has been held accountable. Well, today we solemnly remember those 13 brave service members who made the ultimate sacrifice for our nation. We keep their families in our thoughts and prayers, and we vow to never forget. That does it for me today, but if you missed yesterday's video, you're gonna wanna check it out. I've got the details on the new executive order signed by the president to help reduce crime. Plus, Gavin Newsom gets embarrassed on social media while the Democrats rally for Kilmar Abrego Garcia on his way out. Go ahead, click on that video you see now on your screen, and I'll see you over there. Thanks for watching, and have a great rest of your day.